There is a very good thing, as I don't speak English, even I pretend, I didn't read the English critics. And only my assistant told me, okay, this is the good critics and this is the bad critics. And it was so almost the same thing. And in France, it was very good because they were so proud to have a French director making a Hollywood movie. It was very good critics. And I remember the first test screening and the second test screening in Las Vegas. The reaction was so good. And I was so happy to see the theater very hot when they understood, it's an alien movie. And for me, it was a dream. And I suppose we had some bad critics, but I don't care. I don't want to know. For me, it was an amazing adventure. And I am very proud about the film because I put my own preoccupation, my own visual, way, and I'm very proud about the film. No regrets.
To be not fired, that was a big challenge, because we were here as aliens. We were aliens ourselves, and we knew from the beginning that the studio could fire us any time. So we have a contract. But myself, I had a contract for 1 week. They could fire me with just a week notice. And so I was scared, of course. And yes, the really big thing I'm proud of is to do the whole thing. And that at the end the whole thing is exactly what Jean-Pierre wanted and what the studio wanted. That's for me I'm really proud of it.
I'd never been in a movie like that before, and the trailer, Winona came up to me and said, "You got to come to my trailer to see the trailer." So we came and we sat down in front. It was just these slow images, and then boom, 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 just this collage of images just fired at you one after another, and then it just stopped, and there, like on the screen, the whole screen is my face looking up, and I say, "Who are you?" to Sigourney. And so of course we went, and when was it? What did it play during? But I went to the movies that weekend, some big weekend that the trailers were first launched, and the audience went nuts. She's back.
I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
My own reaction to the film was that I thought it was really extraordinarily pretty to look at. I think the visual department did a remarkable job. I also thought that the music was absolutely wonderful. Very spooky and melodic, which is very hard to actually get melodic scores in films. And I thought it was a really nice touch. Other than that, I don't think the film really necessarily left a deep groove, but I think it's a continuation in that little string of pearls,
I thought the finished film was great, but always in sequels, you're going up against the originals, and the original is a hard one to overcome. I mean, you're always looking at that and judging against it. But I think all in all, I think they did a great job.
It's not the first film for me, but who am I,
Well, when I first saw Alien Resurrection, I actually thought it was a very good version of the script, and I thought it was a very good film.
What I like in Alien Resurrection as opposed to the three others is its difference. And that's really Jean-Pierre, that's really the work of Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
For me, it's my own film now. And the inspiration was Giger, and he's very happy about the film, I know, because I met him recently in Paris. And I'm very happy and proud about that.
And sometimes sequels, or the number two, you're always expecting for the number two to be better than the number one, and sometimes it's not the case. But with Alien, the great thing is it's not it's sequels because the character is consistent, but it's not a sequel because the great idea was to give to different directors as different as Cameron or and Genet, and and it's that makes these movies not really sequels.
I really enjoyed Resurrection. It was partly colored by the fact that I had such a great time working on it, and enjoyed the entire crew.
Everything on that film just slotted together. It was one of those miracle things. It was, from my point of view, it was a joy.
Everybody has opinions about all the Alien films from first to the last, and good or bad, it was a tremendous opportunity to be a part of the whole series, and I think that was our approach. We were excited to work on the show. We were excited when it came out, and we're excited that they're doing this fine DVD collection. And it's a cool series. It's a lot of fun.
I actually enjoy more and more watching this film from the time I first saw it, and now I enjoy much more the film, I think, and its humor.
I'm okay. Really.
Where does the Alien series go from here? Well, I suppose I could think of several directions, but it's a franchise question. It's a question of what is the continued value of the series? Because as much as these films have a following, when you look at their cumulative totals, they're not on the scale of Independence Day or even Godzilla. So they're smaller scale movies. So they probably won't warrant huge budgets.
I feel that there still needs to be some way to conclusively wrap it up. I feel like there's sort of an emptiness to the end of Resurrection, where you've got Ripley and the others, and they're on the ship, and Ripley she's not on Earth yet, but there's this element that here's a character that has traveled through time because of being cloned, and there's an element that hundreds of years have been spent, and she's not able to get back to Earth, and we're going to end with her this close, and we're not going to see her actually get back to Earth, and I just feel I'd love to see the whole thing conclusively tied up, so you feel like the audience who's journeyed with you through 5 movies, if there would ever be a 5th one, would totally be satisfied that there's some kind of resolution, that there's some good that came out of the fact that she died, and then she was cloned, and she came back with a certain amount of knowledge and insight, and was able to make it all worthwhile, and make it worth our while as an audience to have traveled with it.
Personally, I think that there's still something very interesting about the idea of alien DNA mixing in with human DNA, and I think there's almost a place that you could go with that for smaller films that could capture some of the claustrophobia and tension of the first film, but almost on a more internal level. Because if you think about the fight, the species war between the alien and human beings, the battleground is inching closer and closer to becoming the human body, which I think is very interesting and could be great territory to explore. But it's not my franchise.
I certainly think there's a lot more to say about her and about these creatures and about the world they inhabit. I think there's a lot of places to go.
I proposed an idea for the studio, I remember. For me, I would like to see the alien planet. The hospital, the supermarket, how is it, the school, the cars, how is it on the alien planet? Can you imagine? Because on the first one, I remember all my life the spaceship, the Giger's world, and I would like all the planet designed by Giger. That's my dream.
But I would have loved to do an Alien which is very trashy, very hard, very like a B movie almost. Like I think I told Jean-Pierre about like the look inside of a garage in a third world, or even in Europe somewhere, like really dirty garage, very gritty, like oil going, dripping out the walls, like really something really with a lot of texture and harsh and very minimalistic in the lighting, very simple, very source generated, very naturalistic, but really dark, but very not sophisticated at all in the look, you know, nothing, you know, and its concept in its violence and all that.
My idea and hope for how the series would someday end would be that it ends just when the ship is landing in the first one. So that the scene that we discover in the beginning of the first one is the end of the last one, so that the whole thing is a loop.
How does the alien, the derelict ship or whatever, end up there?
Because I always want to know the backstory to the first one.
Wasn't the reason the Nostromo was first sent there, you know, we find out later that, you know, it was really sent there, was not because of a distress signal, but was because someone from the company or whoever was doing it at the time actually had lost crew, very much like the story in the second one. And they're being sent out just kind of like as fodder, you know, make contact sort of thing.
How did the situation exactly go down with how we find the ship at the beginning, whatever that is at the beginning of the first one?
I'd like to find out what was all the shady dealings that happened before, and learn why that ship, which had seemed to be there for a long time. It's kind of like going back to ancient times, if you will. It's like an archaeological dig and finding out what happened in the past.
Yeah, there are a couple of thoughts, that we've had about what to do for an Alien sequel. Some things that we have not explored. I have to say we have not explored them very far. But I, for example, always thought it would be interesting. So, we have that whole thing in the first one with the space jockey. One of the questions you never answer in the first one is, the space jockey is another species from another planet who brings the alien with him from there, and the alien jumps out of him and he crash lands wherever he is, right? So that means that there's the space jockey's planet of those people, and that also means that there's someplace else where the aliens came from. So probably Planet of the Aliens is an interesting idea. It's always seemed to me, and I could always thought it would just be so probably wildly expensive, but now it's probably in range. You could probably do Planet of the Aliens, and I think that would probably be good. So if it was up to me, that's what I'd do.
So we wait and watch the trades and talk to our friends who are in the power position there, and find out what their next move will be.